That's all right? Okay, Robbie.
One, two, one, two, one, two, three.
Thank you, thank you. I guess you have to turn it on. Thank you very much for being here. This is usually a month later. Actually, the concert used to be this time, and then it got moved, and now it's back, and who cares? Okay, but I'm so glad that you're here. That number featured our great drummer, Mr. Robbie Dalton. Robbie is a senior, and Robbie will be continuing his studies at Temple University. Let's give another hand to Robbie. That also featured our county and district jazz level tenor saxophone soloist, who is a sophomore, Mr. Shashank Schreeder. So this next song, Stay On It, we kind of got shanghaied into doing it. A friend of mine, Mr. Glenn Brumbach, is doing his doctoral studies at University of Maryland. And he, in part of his doctoral thesis, is that this isn't going to be long, by the way. Anyway, so he had this thing where he took, like, say, 8 jazz bands and had them learn a song traditionally, and then other 8 jazz bands and had them learn a song using an app. And we were the ones using the app. So they went on the Lincoln Center app, at least that was in theory, and they were able to access and they were able to watch a video of a player, a professional player, playing their own part. And that's how this song was to be learned. So it's a very famous song. Dizzy Gillespie was one of the co-writers. And this features a lot of people, and I need to make sure it features Ryan Tuckman on alto, Mr. Nick Collins on tenor, George on bass, Nate on trumpet, Shashank on tenor, Zach Walter on trumpet, and Megan Keefe on piano. Now, this song, and this I expect you to follow along. This song is based on the rhythm of the chord changes of the song I Got Rhythm. I'll hum a few bars. I got rhythm. I'm singing, not humming. I got music, but I don't want anymore. And the bridge. I got rhythm. I got more. Okay, A-A-B-A. So you can follow. Oh. Yes. I used to be a choir director, by the way. All right, so you're going to enjoy Stay On It and listen to the rhythm changes and all these fine soloists. One of the pleasures of this band this year is our rhythm section is so fantastic that we're able to learn a lot of songs, a lot of rather difficult songs rather quickly of different styles. So this next song is a completely different style. We read through this early in the year and decided it was something that we wanted to try, and it turned out that we were able to figure this out by the end. It's called Beneath the Mask. It has kind of a modern, kind of Pat Metheny-esque sound, so we hope you enjoy Beneath the Mask. Thank you. That featured our very fine lead alto saxophonist, sophomore, Mr. Ryan Tuckman, as well as our fine pianist, a sophomore, Ms. Megan O'Keefe, and our fantastic lead trumpet, Mr. Zach Walter, a junior. Well, we have many outstanding vocalists here, and now it's time to feature one. And also, it's another change of style. A very famous song made famous by, I just learned to speak, by many famous people. But our outstanding vocalist, a very multi-talented individual, a fantastic runner, field hockey player, singer, actress, and various and sundry things. We would like to feature Ms. Bryn Underwood singing "Fly Me to the Moon." Yeah, when Bryn first started to come sing that, it was kind of rough and unpolished, and I gave her a few pointers, and well, there you go. That also featured another senior back on lead trumpet, Ms. Ursha Kumar, and Ursha will be continuing her studies at Stony Brook University in Long Island. It also featured Jeffrey Dalton, and Jeffrey Dalton's going to be featured here, a freshman drummer. Jeffrey also this year was honored to be in County Jazz Band, so let's give a hand for Jeffrey. This next song is called Partito Blue. Partito is a Latin rhythm. There will be a quiz in honor of finals tomorrow. And blue stands for what? Yeah, blues. Thank you very much. We have a ringer in the front row. Blues form. It's a double blues for those of you that are curious, which means it's 12 plus 12, and we know what the answer is. So it features you, Shashank, right? Anybody else? Ryan, you play solo in this too? Yeah. Okay. This features Ryan. And you can tell I have no prepared material tonight, right? I mean, for the concert band concert, I mean, you never have prepared material anyway. I prepared material for the concert band. I wrote out all my jokes. I wrote everything I got. And then for the banquet, of course, my jokes were very good. And so, I wrote them all out, and I had that all prepared. And then I had all my busts on Friday and did all that. And then today, we had our senior tribute, and I gave a speech, and I'm just all prepared out. So this is just winging it. You all right? Okay, we're going to be good. Okay, this is Partito Blue. What? Who, Zach? Oh, yeah, Zach has a solo, too. Okay. We haven't played that in a month. No, it's fantastic. It really featured the whole band. I want to list some people that I didn't get to mention yet in the trumpet section. We have a sophomore. We have Mr. Alex Malazzo. And also a sophomore, Mr. Nate Swoyson. The trombones had a lot of nice things in there. Our lead trombone, a junior, Mr. Graham McNulty. Also, our trombone section, straight off the back 40, Mr. Ryan Garber, a junior. And a freshie, as she likes to call herself, a freshman, Ms. Krishna Nayak. All right, well, we want to do a small group piece to feature Shashank and our great rhythm section with Robbie Dalton, and also our bassist, George Balchunas. George Balchunas also made District Jazz this year. George, you made it a couple years ago before that, too, didn't you? And, we've been really blessed. I've kind of gushed on and on about this band, and especially at the banquet, and it really, really, really is a pleasure. There's lots of times that we're done, like the second week of April, and I'm glad, and I was really, not glad to be done, but you know what I'm saying. But this group, it was really a pleasure to spend time with this extra month. And so we have a small group here, and it's going to be Shashank and Robbie and George playing the Duke Ellington hit. What are you playing? I'm getting... In a sentimental, I almost said I'm getting sentimental over you, which is the wrong song. In a sentimental mood. Shashank this year was featured and also played in the Franklin and Marshall College concert this year. Mr. Laborante, who teaches at Southern and Shiloh Hills, also runs the Franklin and Marshall College Jazz Band at Shashank, and he said it was like a grown man playing. You could tell he's like a grown man. To see on the bridge, when he turned around, looked at the rhythm section, was like, this is the bridge. Like, stay with me, boys. Oh, it's awesome. So, I want to talk about our sax section here really quickly, the ones I missed that we've heard throughout the evening and for the past several years. Mr. Josh Bloom on baritone sax. Josh is going to Bucknell University. Now, I'll let you clap for him in a second, but I have to burn him first. Josh, how many letters of recommendation did I write for you? He says 7. That's a lie. And he would give me the updates. I was accepted here, but I'm probably not going here accepted. Josh is very smart, as you can tell. And he also has great fashion sense, even though I'm stifling his fashion sense by making him dress like everyone else here. But anyway, Josh Bloom is going to Bucknell. Let's give another hand to Josh Bloom. Not to be outdone in the college recommendation department. Mr. Collins, how many recommendations did you ask me to write for you?
You only wrote me one, but I used it for all of the many that I applied.
How many was that?
That was a high number.
We've run out of fingers. Anyway, Mr. Collins, Nick Collins, joining us this year as a senior. And he's normally alto player, and he learned tenor for us. And let's give a hand to Nick Collins. Nick, was that your first improvised solo you've ever done tonight?
Yeah.
And then Nick, it was his virgin maiden voyage for his solos this evening. And Nick is going to Temple University. Is that correct, Nick?
Yeah.
Yes, let's give another hand to Nick. He's got 3 hands. We met Ryan Shashank, and last but certainly not least, Andy's just a fantastic musician. He's a fantastic alto player. I don't think, Andy, have you ever had a lesson? No, he's never had a lesson. And he taught himself to play French horn. And do you have any French horn lessons? So Andy's going to Penn State. So, well, let's give a hand to Andy, and then I'll talk and we give him another hand. So Andy, have you been in touch with your horn professor at Penn State? And do you get chills? Is it Lisa Bontrager?
Yeah.
Okay, do you get chills like when you're talking to her? Just lie and say yes.
Sure.
No, it's going to be the first teacher on a private instrument that Andy's ever had, and in college. No, Andy, don't. What?
She's on sabbatical this year.
She's on sabbatical this year. So who's going to teach you?
I have it in my phone, but I don't know.
It doesn't matter. So Andy's going to take lessons, and just imagine what it's going to be like, how he's going to take off once he has lessons. Let's give a hand to Andy again. Penn State. Okay. Sometimes in the past, and I'll probably ask Miss Fredericks, and she'll be very gracious and lie to me, but in the past you could always tell the songs that we played for festivals, which we repeated many times, and we ground those 3 songs into the dust. One was Partito Blue, which we did before. One was Intrepid Fox, the first ones. And then some of these other ones, like Beneath the Mask, and I believe the last one we're going to do is we have 2 more. The last one, I'm preemptory. But this next song is one of the most beautiful songs that we've ever done for jazz. And the first time we played it, like when we played it, we looked at each other, and especially Megan, like she looked at the piano part, and we said, happy piano player, happy life. So we said, well, we're definitely going to do this. So this is El Abbraccio. It's by Alan Blaylock, I don't know where the L goes. He is presently the head of the jazz department, or the head of the 1 O'Clock band at North Texas School of Music. And we know you're going to love El Abbraccio. And who sold, is this you again, Shashank? And it's Shashank, the Stallings of Shashank. Anybody else? It's Shashank and Megan, and you will enjoy El Abrazo. Megan's funny. Like, Megan's an actress, right? And so, like, all this false humility. You want me to stand up? Like, she's never stood up. Inside, she's like, oh, yes. Thank you very much. No, man. Well, that was beautiful. Again, featuring the great bass playing of George Balchunas, who is, I forgot to mention, is going to Pittsburgh University. George again. And also the great drumming of Robbie Dalton. I probably, when I was in high school, I went to Conestoga Valley High School like 30 years ago, and I remember we played 3 songs. And I remember going to college and then having to play 7 or 8 songs, and I never thought I could do it. So one of the things that I really had hoped for is that we'd be able to do a concert with that many songs and for them to be able to continue and stay strong. And I have to mention especially lead trumpet back there of Zach Walter. Let's give Zach another hand. He's doing. Okay, before we do our final selection, Zebrano, I do want to acknowledge the seniors one more time. We had their senior tribute today. They go finals the next 2 days. Then we have their declaration day or decision day on Friday. Tuesday, they come back and we are doing some fun things. Then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, graduation practice. And Sunday is graduation. So I would like to acknowledge the seniors one more time. Mr. Josh Bloom. Mr. Nick Collins, Mr. Andy Kozensky, Ms. Ursha Kumar, Mr. Robbie Dalton, and Mr. George Balchunas. I would like to thank my colleagues, Ms. Kelly Kuhn and Mrs. Emily Fredericks, for all their support, as well as our administration and our high school, Ms. Kelly Roman, Mr. Dean Damiani, my supervising principal, Mr. Matt Bender, and Mr. Chris Trickett, the head of the high school. Let's give our administration a hand.
Oh yeah, we have a gift. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a white.
Okay. Oh yeah, it's the whiteboard. No. So I'm gonna attempt to stall. Okay. Knock knock. Dishes. Dish is a bad joke. Anyone else want to try this? Oh yeah.
All right. Well, I'm a really bad public speaker, so if I start like shaking and like stuttering and stuff, it's because I'm terrible at it. I attempted to write a little speech about Mr. Cooper because jazz is my favorite genre of music, so this is the most special concert to me. So here, I'm going to attempt. What can I say that hasn't already been said about Mr. Cooper? Through his relentless efforts as both an educator and a musician, he has been able to bring together this fantastic group of people before you. I know that personally I'm very proud to be a part of this band, playing the music that we all love, and sounding really good at doing it. We all love and appreciate we all love and appreciate everything you do for us. Things such as explaining the meaning behind the charts that we play, or a few quick stories here and there to make makes jazz band one of the things I look forward to every week. Jazz is really meaningful to me, and I couldn't be happier to share that connection with you. In the movie La La Land, Ryan Gosling has a line referencing towards jazz as a genre. He says, "It's dying, and the world wants to let it die." I don't believe that this is true at all, because while the amount of people who listen to jazz may be constantly decreasing, the spirit and the meaning of the genre continues on forever because of people like Mr. Cooper. So from the bottom of our hearts, I say thank you. Anyone else?
Okay, so I, like Robbie, am very bad at speeches, so I'm going to keep this brief. I've had the honor of knowing Mr. Cooper for about 5 years. I started marching band in 8th grade, and he really, really intimidated me. He looks very scary, but I soon learned that he is funny, he's caring, he's relatable, and he's one of the few adults here that really treat us like adults. We're always told that, we're going off to college, we need to be acting like adults, but they keep treating us like children. And I remember the first time I was at jazz band, I raised my hand to go to the bathroom, and Mr. Cooper's like, "What are you doing? Just go." And that totally blew my mind. I was like, we don't have to ask to go to the bathroom anymore? Are you kidding me? So that I am forever gracious to. Because of Mr. Cooper, I really have grown as not only a musician, but as a person. So thank you for that. And this is for you. Here's that. Sure.
It's one of my very favorite albums, and I do not have this as an album. It's Miles Davis, Kind of Blue. And it's Robbie, what is it? It's the greatest selling...
Album of all time.
Yes, it's the greatest selling jazz album of all time. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. And in the bag, there are instructions on how to fix my whiteboard. Okay. It's funny when they did, not funny, haha, like funny. Like, I remember one day I walked in and Andy is like pushing the whiteboard and it's going back and forth. I'm like, they're up to something. Okay, our last song is called Zebrano, and it's an exciting song. It's written by a friend of mine. It's actually a friend of mine, and then I'll lie, Andrew New. And Andrew this song, it's almost like Joseph Wilcox Jenkins' An American Overture for Band. Not the one-hit wonder, but it's his big hit. And when I told Andrew earlier this year when I saw him that we were playing Zebrano, he just sighed. He goes, "I guess that's my big hit." As he churns out song after song after song, and they go, "Why don't you write something like Zebrano?" So anyway, we love Zebrano, and I hope you love it too. And it's going to be fun. Who's it feature? Shashank. It features Shashank and Robbie, and it's going to be great. Zebrano. Thank you very much. We have no encore. If we had to play ninth number, it'd be really, 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 really bad. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening. Yes, you can hear a little Seinfeld. This is how every practice ends. Every practice ends this way.